between 1845 and 1849. Just 300 years later, then Ivan Terrible captured the Kazan. Here you can see Nurullah Mosque, one of the oldest buildings in our city. And other names of this mosque are Sinaya Mosque, Bazarne Mosque, and Yunusov Mosque. And I would like to tell you why people call it like that. So, as you know, we have an amazing park near our university. We go to our big Pleasant Street, and in the 19th century, there in the park was a big bazaar square with many Tata sellers. And as you know, Tatas should pray for about 5 times a day, but there wasn't any mosques near that, and they didn't pray, so it was a big problem. And once Yunusov, Junior Yunusov, one of the richest family, he just walking through this park and realized that people didn't pray. So he decided to build this mosque near the square to give others an opportunity to pray 5 times a day. Another terrifying fact about this mosque is that it was built on the cemetery. If you don't know what is it is a place where people go after they had died. So the mosque was traditionally decorated with favorite ornaments of Tatas, tulips, Can you hear me? And one of the reasons says that one of the more minarets of this mosque is similar to given back to now. Sinai Mosque is welcome to any guest who wants to pray right now. So that's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Questions?
Do you have any questions by me? Why did you choose the green color? Green color is one of the most popular colors that Tatas like, and they use it in many mosques, not only this. Okay. Any other questions? I think that he was from rich family and he used money of family, but they didn't. They were not against it.
The building that you see now used to be a home for the Chives merchant dynasty. Unfortunately, the family business went downhill and the building started to collapse. Nowadays, the house is restored and it serves a great purpose. It is a museum and tea. This museum consists of 4 rooms dedicated to different subjects. The first room shows us how tea became popular worldwide. There you just enter the world of Chinese and Japanese tea culture. Also, there you can find out such important things in tea history, such as tea road from China to Europe. The second room is dedicated to tea traditions in England and in Russia, where samovar takes the biggest part. The third room It's all about Russian regular people and how they drank tea. And also about the wartime where the tea was still an essential drink. And the last room shows us the latest year of the USSR, including a cozy old Tatar woman's dining room with a very familiar vintage cupboard. In the same room, you can finish your excursion and help yourself to some chak-chak and tea. But it isn't included in the price, so we should pay for this. The price of the excursion isn't very costly, about 300 rubles for a student and about 350 for an adult. Also, you can get a discount if you follow their Instagram page. And moreover, you can visit their shop and buy some souvenirs, for example, high quality tea or plates, cups. And all in all, this place is just great because you can see lots of different things without paying fortune. And that's all.
Thank you.
I'm a promoter or something.
No, I just really like tea, and I think this place is really great because you just can see a lot of installations.
Have you been there?
No, I don't want. I want because I've seen a lot of reviews and seen a lot of pictures, and I want to visit it this summer.
Other questions?
And one fact about the family that used to live here. So there are some ancestors, and they have some, how to say, like ancestors, but
Descendants.
like
Descendants. Yeah.
Yes. And
Yes, descendants. Nice to say it.
And one of them became a journalist, and he was really upset when he heard that this building is collapsing. So I think that now he will be really happy to see that this building is now like really interesting, and as I had said before, it has a great purpose.
Do you guys have questions?
Yeah. The tea is naturally from the countries, for example, from China. Or
I'm not sure, but I know that there is a real great Tatar tea.
okay.
And how is Tata tea different from just regular tea?
I think that yes, because
How is that different? Does anybody know? Okay.
You grab everything from
some plants that
Drink it with milk.
Okay, they may drink it with milk, but sometimes they add some herbs, right?
and also they with check, so
Mhm.
it will be really sweet.
Yeah, if it has herbs and chak, yeah, it's really sweet. So no questions?
What kind of tea you recommend me trying if I would go to here in the future?
I want to say some milky teas because I really like adding milk to everything that I drink. So
Because it is a private section. Yes, green mosque, as you understand, as you can see. So close, it's just used. We can go inside and so before we start, we want to tell you definitions of some words. And the first one is parishioner. It's a member of a particular parish.
parish its prihod, especially one who frequently goes to its church, or in our is mosque. The next one is merchant. It's a person whose job is to buy and sell products in large amounts, especially by trading with other countries. And the last one is gravestone. It's a stone that shows where a dead person is buried, usually with the name and the years of birth and death of that person written on it.
Okay, let's have a look on this beautiful mosque. And I want to say that this mosque was built from 1766 and 1770 using the means of parishioners, presumably designed by the architect Kovtyrova. It was the first stone mosque erected after 1552, and permission to build the mosque was personally granted by Empress Catherine II.
It was named the Первая Соборная and Yunusovskая, but finally name Marjani was increased when the mosque was named in honor of Imam Шабабудин Валентинович Marjani.
Или каких-то там педагогов исламского колледжа. То есть они все
Here you
как
can
бы,
see the picture of this person.
Yes, he was the head of the first Muslim parish from 1850 to 1889.
The mosque building was rebuilt multiple times, and in 1861 a brick fence was built around the mosque. You can see at the same time as an attachment with a stairwell on the north side, financed by Yunusov, a Kazan merchant of the first guild.
In 2 years, the same merchant expanded the mosque's mihrab. Mihrab is a niche in the wall of a mosque. It points in the direction of Mecca and is most often located in the middle of the wall. In 1885, Usmanov rebuilt the mosque's minaret, and 2 years later it was decorated with a metallic azure parapet, which was made from means provided by merchant Visit Kulin and Venetian.
This building was built on the donations of 62 people who managed to collect 5,000 rubles. And for more than 2 centuries, Al-Marjani was the largest and the most important mosque in the capital of Tatarstan.
Over the years, it has changed several names. The first one was Efendi, in translation, the Lords, and the next one Yunusovska by the name of Merchant Yunusov, and the current name of the mosque was acquired in honor of its Imam Shatabuddin Marjani. He devoted almost 40 years of his life to serving in this mosque.
And we want to tell you about some interesting facts about this mosque. And the first fact is that inside there is a gravestone of Muhammad Kalibek, which dates back to 1530.
During the Soviet Union, Al-Marjani was the only mosque that functioned in Kazan.
And when in the 18th century it came to the construction of the minaret of the mosque, the Kazan mayors wrote to the Catherine II. You gave the Muslims permission to build mosques, but they built very high. And Russian Empress replied, I have assigned them a place on earth, and they are free to ascend to the sky at their own discretion, because the sky is not a part of my domain. And that's all we wanted to say
Great
about this
job.
mosque.
You can see how it looks inside.
So we are not able to come inside. Very beautiful.
Why did you decide to settle down this mosque there?
Because it's centrally of the city. I think all this place is an old part of the Kazan. So as we know, when it was only started to use.
It could be the outskirts of the city, yeah, at that time.
Yes. So it wasn't so big, and there wasn't so many places where they could.
the mosques situated not so far away from each other. That's why I asked.
Is it true that this is the oldest mosque in Kazan?
Yes, it's true. And this mosque is the only mosque which worked during the Soviet Union, as other mosques had been closed. So that's why.
It was the only mosque which wasn't closed
At all.
at all.
So it was used in war. Could injured people come here?
Everybody can
Yes.
come here.
But when it's time for pray, I think it's better not to come.
No, I
Mhm.
mean for injured people while World War II.
Could it be a shelter, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Yeah. So girls can look up these facts here because that's difficult to say.
But because of the fact that this mosque was the only working mosque during the Soviet Union, on Friday praying times, there was so many people that all the square was full of people, and even outside the mosque.
Outside the yard, yeah? There were people outside the yard. Okay. Lisan, any other tricky questions?
Like service, I think like church service, you know, like religious service, basically.
Yes, it is. Is it the first time you have been here?
Yes, I have been living in Kazan for 2 years, but I haven't been there.
Well, that's a wonderful place, isn't it?
The story of this mosque starts a long time ago, approximately in 1760s. People were always asking to build a mosque right at this place, and in 1766, Catherine the Great ordered to build a stone mosque there. Until that time, all the mosques were all the religious buildings of Islam, mosques and so on, were built or were destroyed or burned.
The name of a mosque, a night mosque, came from the surname of a family of merchants who had sponsored its construction. Talking about the style of this mosque, we can see Moscow Baroque, Old Russian, and primordial Tatar styles.
Indoors, the mosque everything is decorated in the Oriental style. We can see handmade carpets of unique beauty lying on the floors. Walls and ceilings are decorated with different beautiful ornaments. The whole interior is pretty humble comparing to the other most popular mosques, but it is very cozy and calm.
Prayer halls are situated on the second floor. Also, different types of courses are held in this mosque. For example, people are learning Quran there, learn Arabic language, and recognize the moral. Also, there are special courses for little children. Built a mosque. Does it mean that she can go to heaven?
Another tricky question. Mhm.
No, Apanaev built this mosque, and it was under the command of Catherine the Great.
So this family was very rich because they were merchants. It's the people who are engaged in trade, and because of this richness, they sponsored this mosque to build there.
Have you ever been there, and did you visit master classes?
So I haven't been on that street
before. So I haven't been in their mosque, but now I have a big desire to visit all these interesting places, historical places. Yes, because you know, modern mosques are not as not doesn't have don't have such atmosphere as old ones have, I think.
So it's a day of discoveries for today. How many people are for the first time here? Have been for the first time? Oh, so many! How about the group?
Mosques have very tall, how to say, example,
Fence? Maybe fence or wall?
wall. Maybe it's because to protect prayers people while they pray, because Soviet Union times wasn't safe. Friendly. Yes. Wasn't
Religion
safe
friendly.
for religious people.
So, some other questions?
How does this mosque differ from the other one?
So location.
A little bit.
Yeah, it is more humble inside, and that's because of this, it is more comfortable and cool. Do you know why most of the mosques of maybe Tatarstan has like triangle form, but in our Muslim countries they are all like shape.
They're round, like
Maybe spheric, yeah? Spheric or something.
So maybe it is because when people build the mosque, they try not only to. So I mean, it's like Tatar style, because this mosque meets Moscow Baroque style, Russian, old Russian style, and Tatar style. So I see that in many countries we can't see this type of minaret, but so I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone know.
It's just Tata style. And the color is green. So
yeah, color.
green color.
So what color of mosque do you have in Indonesia?
Different.
So not only one
Has
color.
their own color.
What color?
Has their own color. Different.
there is no common.
Yeah.
I would like to, even Dacia wants to hear our excursion.
The duck is in your group?
Yes. Two questions. She's with us. Yes, okay.
One lake,
She's ready to.
system of two lakes in the central part of the city, known as lower, middle, and upper Kapan lakes. They are collectively the largest lake in Tatarstan, covering a total area of 186 hectares.
So, where did the name of these three lakes originate? According to one legend, there was a forest around the lakes which was inhabited by many wild boars. Over time, all the wild boars were exterminated, the forest was cut down, and the lake given its current name.
Another theory claims that the lake was named in honor of the son of the Bulgar Kazan Kabanbek, who escaped to these lands while fleeing from the troops of Tamerlan. The waters of the lake held the prince of his once, and he built a new life near its shores.
Perhaps the most attractive legend of the lake's origins is associated with treasure. by the troops of Ivan the Terrible in the 16th century. The Huns put treasury to the bottom of this lake, and throughout the years many attempts have been made to find this, but we haven't results.
Upper Kazan is completely enclosed with the water, with no physical link to the other two lakes. The water level in the Upper Kazan is 2 meters higher than in the lower and middle Kazan.
Of the three lakes, the Middle Kazan has the greatest depth, about 90 meters, compared to the average 5 to 12 meters. Years ago, ships could enter the lake, but now it is impossible. In 2013, a rowing canal was built on Middle Kazan for Universiade, an international multi-sporting competition for students were there in the Middle Kazan.
Lower Kazan is the most important of the three lakes, for this is where residents of Kazan come to relax. On the eastern shore is the colorful Staro-Tatarska Sloboda, located near Millennium Park. A promenade with bike path runs along the entire embankment, and compact ground is wet along the lake's multi-level sidewalks, which are perfect for a leisurely stroll. On the northern shore of Lake Kazan is a musical fountain, and many smaller fountains can be found along the lake.
The lake was home to many species of fish, and yet starting in the mid-20th century, its flora and fauna were affected by industrial waste, and that's why we can't drink this water. But now the results are positive because we can see ducks, geese, and seagulls, and they returned. But sometime they weren't here because the water was very
Polluted.
polluted. Yes, that's all.
Questions to the speakers?
Have you seen swans here?
No.
Because there are something there and I've seen a lot of them. So they are really beautiful.
Not this year, yeah? So there used to be a lot of swans last year.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
What is swans?
Maybe swans, yeah? Like big white
Can people
birds.
swim here? They want, for example.
No, it is forbidden. No, we can't swim
Because
here.
in my city there is a really cold river, Yenisei, and people swim here.
No, this place only to have a rest, walk, and spend time together, but not for this kind of.
But do you know what will happen if somebody tries to swim?
Yes.
If somebody tries to swim, what's going to happen? Is there any punishment?
I don't know, but my dad always swam here when he was a child.
Mm-hmm.
So people can swim.
Yes, people can swim.
So I saw news yesterday that one woman died yesterday in this lake.
Oh my god.
Yes, but not here, in the middle.
Mhm.
Yes, in the middle.
Because she was swimming?
We don't know.
Nobody knows. Okay, that's very sad. Maybe you have any positive questions?
Can we catch fish there?
If you're not afraid to eat it after that.
Just for pleasure, not to eat it, but to pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
So have you tried this kind of what is it?
Catamarans, I suppose, but I'm not sure. We should check it.
No.
There are so many interesting activities for you to try.
Yes.
There are so many things that you haven't tried yet. Okay, some other questions?
Have you heard in 2000 there was a Loch Ness Shooter?
Really? Did it travel here from Scotland on tour?
Our Kazan
Kazan.
monstrous, maybe it was a big fish, like beluga, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes?
There is a photo.
There is a photo. Seriously? Okay, you can find and send it to us.
Tell you not about this theater, but about a person who made this theater, and it is Galiaskar Kamal. But first of all, I'd like to tell you a bit about this theater. Galiaskar Kamal Tata State Academic Theater is wholly original Tata theater with vivid national performances accompanied by English and Russian translations. For example, the classic production Blue Show hasn't left the stage for dozens of years. It is one of the best national theaters of Russia and the laureate of the first theater festival of the Turkic War.
And some interesting facts about Galiaskar Kamal. For us, the usual name of the classic is Galiaskar, but Hero's father was calling him Galiaskar. And the name of his father was Galiakbar, which meant elder Gali, and Galiaskar meant younger Gali. So he preferred to call him Galiaskar. And so he could die 2 times. As a child, Galiaskar spent his summer vacations in the village of Arski district. One day, the news came that 2 of his brothers and sisters who stayed in Kazan had died of disease that he would have contracted. But it was lucky of him to stay in village. Second time he could die somehow when the boy was playing by the stove. His clothes caught fire and he received burns on his stomach.
His love for theater began in the market. Kamal said he loved to go to bazaars and watch puppet shows and circuses. At the age of 19, Galiaskar wrote his first work, Unhappy Young Man, says again. The author's plays were staged 9 years later. The playwright recalled his work and brought it to its current form.
Kamal looked much older than his real years. It's known that the playwright slept little and didn't care about his health at all. During the day, he worked in the editorial offices. He was the author of more than 20 works and about 100 translations.
The playwright's father dreamed that his children would become people of science or religion, but the youngest chose the theater. Moreover, his siblings followed the same path. Despite his mother, despite her husband's disapproval, supported her children in every way and went to their performances in secret.
And you know that the name of artist there is Sayar Kutsa. Its first was Sayar, wandering artist with a star. Appearing wandering artist with a star. It meant Sayar in Tatar. And it was suggested this would apply. But Kamal, his friend, decided to cut off the end and it became Sayar.
That's all.
Let's give applause, and we are waiting for the questions.
Have you been there in this theater?
Yes, and we suggest you to go there because it allows other nationalities to put speakers and listen to their own language.
Earphones, yeah? They put earphones, okay.
haven't mentioned that. That's all.
So, do you mean the roof of it? Yeah. Is it? Is it like an example of Soviet architecture or not?
It looks like from Soviet periods.
Do you know that in Rostov-on-Don there is exactly the same theater with a red roof? Exactly the same. I don't know. We can check it on the internet.
When I was a child, I was always impressing by this
Yeah.
roof.
It is very difficult in winter because snow
Mhm.
in the roof are there.
And when you look at it, it looks like water sometimes from the.
There water on this roof?
No. This futuristic building with this roof was
Mhm.
built in 1987.
Mhm. Like Soviet times,
Soviet
yeah.
times,
The end of Soviet times. Okay. Some other questions?
And if you know the film Sakroviще Oki, it's interesting that the whole film was filmed inside the theater.
Mhm. They even, they didn't use the roof, but at least they showed it, yeah, somehow. So, any other questions? Such a fruitful topic. So let's thank the speakers for their wonderful talk. They did their best,
I
and
found out information about the roof.
mhm,
It is like a big ship,
mhm.
and the roof is like a big sail, and
Ah,
that's why it is situated around the water.
near the water. Huh?
Yes,
Yeah, that makes sense.
like a big ship.
It sounds like Scottish song.
Well, because my teacher taught me.
Finally, we got the museum, so I'm going to tell you about the Chak Chak Museum. Every year, like thousands of people, tourists, learn more about the history and culture of Kazakhstan by this museum. I want to tell you about a little bit about the history of the regions. At the beginning of the 21st century, local enthusiasts came up with the idea to create the unique museum in Kazan, which would have a collection of exhibits that could tell the best about this amazing city. In September 2014, patrons are Dmitry Voloshin and Rushania Suleimanova, their wife and husband. Yes, they're a couple. Opened this museum. Its popularity is best indicated by the numbers. Almost 50,000 of tourists visit this Chak Chak museum every year. This place, like this street, was chosen not by the chance. In their opinion, it helped to create the most suitable atmosphere of the exhibits. The exhibit the life of the wealthy Tatar into the smallest details. When decorating the interior, they used the survivor photographers at that time, taken in Kazan, to make it more realistic. There are real everyday objects all around the place that were donated by the museum, by the local residents, people who live in Kazan. One of the main features of the collection is that almost everything can be touched and tasted in action. This is also a special. There is also a special shop there. Like travelers and guests can taste the traditional Tatar chak-chak, learn the recipe for the dish, and try to cook it in our own way. So that's all. To sum up all the information, there is like a house of the wealthy Tatar's family. There is everything made in details. Like you can touch everything, you can see it wherever you want. Then there is a section when you try to do your own chak for the special recipe. And what recipe? Yes, recipe. And then you try your own chak. So yes, the cost of the museum is 400 rubles for the adults, 300 rubles for the children, and yes, that's all. Also, I read some information about like Tatar traditions, not the traditions, but I heard that Tatar families have this two entries in the house, like the main and the entry is from the yard. Because
The back door, right?
back door, yes. Because they live in a like shy way or something.
You mean
no,
modest,
because,
right?
They have the entrance for the woman and for the man, as I read. And one yes, interesting fact that earlier, I don't know it exists now or not, but earlier women and men can connect on the weekends, on the day off, in the, for example, weddings. They have the separate tables in the separate rooms, and they do not connect with each other because it's prohibited.
Okay, guys, let's give applause to Karina for her wonderful speech, and we are waiting for the questions.
Not talking about your personal recipe. So, are there many chak types or only one? I don't understand.
There?
Yes. Traditional.
Yes, there you learn like the traditional way to make like the perfect chak. I don't think that there are like many types of chak, but in my city they once I were on a like competition of chak. Some people came there, do their own chak and make it like a competition, and you can go there, try chak and then vote for the exact
For the best one, yeah?
yes. After the finding the information, I get the desire to visit it.
Only rich families was eating chak.
What?
Only rich families were eating chak.
There was written that not only rich people, but chak is not like the usual dish. You eat it for the special day. You make it.
So, guys, any other questions?
Why the design of house is similar to Russian traditional village houses?
Why do you think it's Russian? We've been to Staro-Tatarskaya Sloboda, and almost every house is like that, no?
No, it's Tatar style. It's not
Yeah.
With this opening.
very Russian, because Russians have like this thing back on the window. Tatar style.
Brief history about our university. First thing I want to talk about is about this particular building. This building was built on 12th of August 2005. It's relatively new. The total area of the building is 20,000 square meters, and its architectural idea was developed on the basis of the idea of the president of the Republic of Tatarstan at that time, Mintimur Saimiev, to create an intellectual and cultural center. And over the last 125 years, the university has changed its name many times. The first name was Kazan Institute in 1876. The next name is Kazan Pedagogical Institute in 1918, Eastern Pedagogical Institute in 1922, Tatar Pedagogical Institute in 1931, Kazan State Pedagogical Institute. in
Pedagogical,
1934.
yeah, pedagogical.
Pedagogical.
Hmm.
And finally, in 2005, the Tatar State Humanitarian and Pedagogical University was created by merging two regional universities, the Tatar American Regional Institute and the Tatar State Humanitarian Institute. And in 2009, university decided to join Kazan Federal University, and on September 1st, 2001, all students who studied at Tatar State Humanitarian and Pedagogical University became students of Turkey.
That was me. Okay.
And that's all I want to tell about this university. The next thing I want to tell is about this monument. It's the monument of Tatar composer Salih Saidashif. It was built in 2005 by the sculptor Mahmud Gazimov. Salih Saidashif was born in Kazan and became the founder of professional Tatar music, and is also known as a conductor, a teacher, and a theater composer. At the age of 18, he organized his own orchestra, and at the age of 22, he became the conductor.
Oster Mohammed, we got to know a lot of new information about the university. So, questions?
Do you know who was the architecture of this building and why he decided to do our university like in this way, with the columns and
To make our university, huh?
I didn't find information about that. It was difficult.
So, who else wanted to make a question?
the answer? No. That's why.
Did you think Karina was checking?
Yes, the answer.
So, somebody else wanted to ask something.
Do you like our university?
No other answer is accepted near the university.